Last time I had an outro of a few minutes in a YouTube video, Reddit started saying I'm like a little bitch and I'm just like crying, you know? I'm not enjoying this process. Like, and when I came back to Road to GM, I was like really looking forward to it, and it really sucks.
And both Hans and Hikaru and many other Grandmasters make points. They're not groundbreaking points, but yeah, they make good points.
The internet's favorite chess teacher, Levy Rozman, recently played in an over-the-board tournament, and let's just say it didn't go well. He scored only 2.5 out of 9, a rough result, especially with the entire chess world watching. Among those keeping an eye on his performance were two notable grandmasters, Hans Niemann and Hikaru Nakamura. In this video, we'll break down the advice they had for Levy, and we've identified over 10 great insights that can help us all improve our game. Let's dive in.
When you have a position that you are in complete control, you must keep control. If you are in control, there's no reason to force things. So a couple psychological shifts about framing and sort of game. There's game theory in chess, right? There's ICM in chess. There's a lot of things you can apply. So
play the game and not try to force things, because he tried to force it. He made his opponent's moves too simple, and Irene found a couple of important moves to save the game. Credit to her for finding that, but Levy simply...
When you're in control, and you note, like, simplicity is simplicity is your greatest friend, right? If I was advising him to become a very serious grandmaster and to play really high-level chess, the Dutch is not an opening that I would recommend. Although it might suit his style, preparation has advanced so much that even a 2200 player can really prepare and get a great advantage against the Dutch. So I would make some opening adjustments. He needs to develop a more sort of risk-averse mindset. And then risk aversion, maintain control. Like, there's no benefit that you get from taking risk in a position of control. Let your opponent make a mistake. Let your opponent, they are the ones with a terrible position. There's no reason to ever do something like this. 20 minutes on castles is an issue. And then 5 minutes are like a massive blunder. And then he's just bleeding time, like again, 12 minutes on the most obvious move. Like, but the time, like, you can't get low on time. You have to manage your time better, because every single time he gets low on time, look what happens. And then someone loses the game.
35 minutes against 7 minutes. He is up 28 minutes on the clock in the situation, and I was really disappointed to see the move queen takes f1, because if Levy had played either queen to g4 or the move queen to h5, there is zero doubt in my mind that Levy would have gone on to win this.
Again, f4, like there's no reason why you should create a weakness. You have this, you have 3 perfect targets. You have the open file. You have everything. Do not make just bring your rook to d1. Slowly but surely, these positions, they win themselves. A lot of issues with calculation can stem from issues in confidence. And, if you don't believe and you don't trust your judgment, it's, these types of mistakes, happen more often. And then,
fortunately, he doubted himself a little bit too much in the critical moment. He made one slip with this move, queen f5, and it just seems like a tournament where really nothing can go right for Levy. I do think that in general, when you're playing in serious chess tournaments, you really do need to avoid social media. I cannot stress it enough that in between games, if it's after the round, end of the day, maybe you can look some, but in general, if you're playing 2 games a day, or you have to be focused, you should be ignoring social media as much as you can, because it can only serve as a distraction. There is no upside and only massive downside. Well, one of the old sayings in the great game of chess is that the hardest thing to do in chess is to win a winning position. And Levy promptly starts to fall into the trap here of thinking he can do anything and win the game. He starts with
a lot of blitz, especially online blitz with no increment. You lose your patience because you have this just instinct, like take the piece or make the move. So perhaps a little bit less more blitz, playing a bit more with increment would be helpful. He needs to play the right tournaments. Why on earth are you playing a round robin tournament? with other low-rated, talented kids who are super, super hungry. First of all, American players are extremely underrated. And he's playing against, it's literally the Hunger Games. You've got underrated kids, you've got talented players, you've got like, oh, this is the worst possible tournament to gain rating in. You need to go to Europe. You need to play opens. He needs to play exclusively against strong grandmasters. Instead of playing against 2200s, where you're risking all your rating, learn from losing against the best players in the world to actually realize what it takes to reach that level. You have to fight. I'm sure you're miserable, you feel terrible, you've had a terrible result, all you want to do is go home. But if you want to become a grandmaster, you must fight at every single opportunity that you get. Because as you get older, and as you get more jaded from bad results, you only go deeper into the same bad habits that make you stagnate as a chess player. So you gotta fight, you gotta play.